This, everybody, is the Japanese raisin tree, also known as the Korean raisin tree, also known as raisin tree. It is a very, very weird fruit. Kind of. So the thing with this is the part that is referred to as a fruit is not actually the fruit itself. The fruit itself is this little guy here, these little balls here. And these fruits are, I mean, I can try one, but they're really just like a little dry pod. You can break these open and there's like little seeds inside. They taste like I don't know. They don't taste like much. They taste like wood. There's nothing really much to them. However, the stem that is near the fruit, this guy here, this is where the flavor is, okay? So this is not actually a fruit. I believe it is referred to as a peduncle, which is a swollen stem, and that is the part that tastes more like you would expect a fruit to taste. So just the anatomy of this thing is pretty bizarre, because first you have like the stem here, which would attach, to a branch. And then when you come down a little bit further, you have these little clumps coming out of it. And then it continues further down, like a little ornament. So you can take this part and pop it off. And here you have the swollen stem that I mentioned, and then little fruits coming out of it. And those also have like a teeny little connector between the swollen stem and the fruit. So as I demonstrated, the fruit itself doesn't taste all that good, but what happens when you just eat this part? That is very tasty. This is referred to as raisin tree, and often people say it tastes just like raisins. Maybe it does when it's dry, but when I'm having it fresh like this, it tastes more like apples, but a little different. It's got a little bit of a bitterness to it. Yeah, it's a little complex. So let's break it down. Let's break down the swollen stem of the raisin tree. That is very sweet. Like, sweeter than an apple, definitely. It's more like an 8 out of 10. No tartness to it. It's got like a little bit of an herbal note to it. The main flavor that I'm getting is like apple cider. Not like apple juice, but apple cider. There's like this darker, richer flavor to it. There's also this like, what is that? That's, cough medicine. It tastes like cough medicine. Like cherry cough medicine. So I'm getting apple cider, cherry cough medicine, and maybe a little bit of like prune. That's strange. That's really, really strange. But it does taste good. The flavor of the stem, at least, is good. And the most notable thing about it is that it's juicy. If I break into it, you can look in there, it's actually like quite wet. Look at that. It's more like a fruit than the fruit itself. Raisin tree is native to Korea, Japan, and China. However, this was sent to me by Dan, and Dan found it growing in Western New York. So it's maybe a good one to grow if you live in a more temperate area. And Dan, thank you. This is a really cool one that I've been wanting to try for a while. And yeah, even though I tried it already, there is more to be done with this thing, because typically how this is used in Asia is, well, I mean, people do eat it as a fruit and they'll use it for sweet applications. They'll use it to make a syrup that's used kind of like honey. This is more popular as a medicinal plant though, and the thing that this is supposed to be good for is curing hangovers. And, you know, I don't normally dig into the medicinal benefits of plants because there's a lot of misinformation out there. But in the case of this, my interest was piqued because that's kind of an interesting thing. And I actually came across a study where they got a bunch of people drunk. They gave some of them an extract of this, and they gave others an extract that was a placebo. And the people who had the raisin tree, they actually had improved symptoms. So there might actually be something to this as a hangover cure. And that also might be why when I went to Korea not that long ago, I found a bottled raisin tree drink for sale like everywhere. All the convenience stores had it. They even had it like in vending machines on the street. If this is indeed good for hangovers, then I can see the reasoning for that. You might be coming home from the bar and be like, had a little bit too much to drink. Stop at the vending machine, get yourself a bottle of this tea, and then, you know, you're good to go. And I did try the drink, so let's go to Korea for a minute.
So I'm in Seoul right now in Korea, and I found this at a vending machine. It is Korean raisin tea. I've been drinking this, and honestly, it doesn't really have a strong taste. It says 100% Korean raisin tea, so there's nothing like else in it. It's a little bit sweet, like a 1. No tartness, but the flavor is like, I don't know, it's very woody, but mostly I'm just getting like water taste. It's not strong whatsoever. But people like it for the medicinal benefits here, so yeah, it's okay.
So I wasn't super impressed with the flavor of raisin tree tea. I definitely like the fresh one a lot more. And I think the reason for that might be that in the hangover cure, it isn't just this that's used. People use the bark of the raisin tree in order to help with hangovers. And yeah, so I'm guessing that the drink that I had probably had some bark in it as well. I know it might not look like it, but I am not hungover. So I would like to try making the tea myself using just the stems. So I'm going to not use any bark. I'm actually not going to use the fruits either because those don't really contribute much of a good flavor. I'm just going to use these stems and see if that can produce a drink that actually does taste good. Let's go. While my tea is brewing, let me tell you something really, really interesting, possibly the most interesting thing about the raisin tree, and that involves the leaves. Okay, so I've talked about the fruit, I talked about the swollen stem, I talked about the bark even. What could be so interesting about these leaves? Well, they contain a compound that has anti-sweet properties. I don't recommend that anyone does this, okay, because I haven't been able to find a ton of information about it. But people have found a way to extract a compound from the leaves that when you apply it to your tongue, it takes away all sweet flavors. So you can have this extract and then drink a glass of soda, and that soda will not taste sweet. This is something that exists in a few different plants. I believe jujubes, like Chinese jujubes, also do that. The most popular anti-sweet plant, though, is Gymnema sylvestre. This guy. So this is an extract made out of it, and this is sold for helping with regulating your sugar levels and also weight loss, curbing your sugar cravings. Because you take some of this and then you can't taste sweet things anymore, so it takes all the fun out of eating a donut, you know. So it's pretty extreme, but some people swear by it. I'm not going to be dealing with that today, though. I have other things to review. Maybe in the future I'll try that for fun, though. As you can see, it is very clear. There's a little bit of color to it, but very clear. So I wonder if this is maybe a better thing to cook on the stove. You know, actually like boil it. But I'll try it just as it is. Oh, it's got flavor to it. It's kind of mild. So I'm going to hold off telling you what this tastes like, but it is very interesting. I'm going to try cooking this on the stove. I want to get more of that flavor out of there. Well, it definitely has more color to it, and the flavor is different. It tastes very different than this. I actually like this one better. I like the first flush more. It's definitely milder, but this has a mild strawberry flavor, like strawberry candy. It's got a little bit of like the typical flavor that I got from the fruit, like a little appley, a little raisiny, I guess. But I'm mostly getting like strawberry candy. This one tastes bready. Smells like it too. It smells like dough, like yeasty dough. It's not bad. You know, both of these are better than the bottled one that I had in Korea. That one I think must have had other parts of the plant in it, and that gave it a flavor that's like a little medicinal tasting. These ones are more like fruit. You know, this one is like a mild strawberry taste. This one, like the fruit itself, and strawberry and bread. I think that the first flush version that I made would be good for like a bottled water. Make a big pot of this and then put it in a pitcher and put it in the fridge. And you'll have like a nice, like mild strawberry flavored water taste. Like cucumber water, but you know, better. That would be an interesting way of using that. But yeah, either way, both are pretty good and both I like better than the bottled version. So I think that's about it for the raisin tree. This thing is incredibly interesting. It's incredibly interesting, and it's something that can grow in New York State. So I feel like this one is underutilized in the US. If it can grow here, people should be growing it because like it tastes delicious. It can be used in a bunch of different ways. It's got some really interesting aspects to it, like how the leaves are used and how it's used as a hangover cure and stuff like that. It's there's a lot going on with the raisin tree, and it's all pretty cool. So thank you once again to Dan for sending this to me, and thank you everybody for watching. I'll see you next time. I would like to give a big thank you to Smarter Everyday, Bill T, and Joseph McCorkle. They are mega patrons on patreon.com. Patreon is how I keep this channel going. It is a huge help, so thank you. And to anyone watching who is interested in learning more about how you can support the channel and get some really cool bonuses in return, like early access to videos, exclusive videos, over 100 of those. There's even a level where I will send you things in the mail. You gotta check it out. So check out the link in the description below.